Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle: The Secret Storm, Season 1, Episode 9, and the name of this episode is Succumb. And man, this episode was lit. I was so lit up with this episode. I mean, let's just say, the one thing that we all wanted to happen actually went down this episode, and I'm gonna get to that. But before I get started, first, I want to let you know, subscribe to brtbtv.com. Again, that's brtbtv.com. Look, you know, there are a lot of great things going on with brtbtv, and you guys need to hop on now. I have that link in the description box. Subscribe today to brtbtv.com. As well, check out the Triangle Fan Club. You get everything BRTBTV. You also will get, you know, posts from the cast and crew, and even updates from the creator, Caesar Williams. So yes, BRTBTV.com, Triangle Fan Club. Know this. So yes, and also I want to mention there's this new app out called Romper, which actually is an app that is definitely specialized for the ethnic, black, gay, LGBTQ community. So if you are, you know, a black male looking to meet other black males or other, you know, ethnic brothers, definitely check out romper.com and, you know, or go to the Google Play Store and download the app. I will also have that link in the description box as well. Also, so let's begin with this review because a lot went down and I don't want to make this long, but if I do, bear with me. Okay. In the beginning of the episode, we see that Gary is having a conversation with this alter ego that has taken over him, who I named Xanax. Xanax is an evil motherfucker, and we really see Gary really is a good guy, but he's a guy that is being tormented by this alter ego who has completely taken control of his life. And we actually see that controlling aspect is what we've been seeing in his interactions with Logan, and his interactions with Ty, and with everyone. You know, we're starting to see that this controlling, you know, energy is really dominating Gary, and he's just real smug too. And he's just like, man, like, first of all, you're telling this bitch too much you're telling this bitch too much, and if you don't shut the hell up, I'm gonna kill her just like I did the other one, meaning Sebastian. So again, as I mentioned before in the last episode, it was Xanax who killed Sebastian, not Gary. And Gary doesn't even know, like, what are you talking about? He's like, you got messy. You cheated on Logan with Sebastian. You got messy, so I did away with him. So he calls himself killing Sebastian to cover his tracks because, you know, Sebastian was going to go to the board and was going to, like, tell it, you know, here, there, and everywhere that, you know, him and Gary was messing around, which would have ruined Gary's reputation. But we actually see that Gary is just really frustrated. He says that, you know, Dr. Chase wants to help me, and I need to get on medication, and I need to get you out of my head. And he's just laughing like, you won't even, like, in a way, like, you know, Xanax is just telling him that, you know, I gave you everything. I gave you complete control. I gave you your career, your intelligence, and Logan, and look what you've done. You done fucked up everything. And it's just, and we just see that this negative side is not going to go away, and it's to the point where this negative side is about to take over Gary completely. So we definitely saw that go on. Then we see Maya and Logan are out in the parking lot, I think like at a park or whatever, because he's there to meet up with Gary, and they're going to discuss where they're going to go with their relationship. But we can definitely tell Logan is very confused and is somewhat beside himself because he doesn't know what he really wants, and he doesn't know what he expects because it's been so long since he's talked to Gary, and Gary has been trying to contact him in every aspect, but he's blocked Gary on everything. even Naya, and I love me some Naya. Naya pretty much he has showed some of the text that Gary has sent, and she's like, oh my God, he's writing you novels. I laughed my ass off with that. I was like, that's cute. But you know, Logan right now is still uncertain as to whether he's going to continue to pursue his relationship with Gary, but he needs to get to the bottom of it to see whether their relationship can work. But it's obvious he loves Gary. But one thing, Naya is very sharp on it. She's like, I want to see if you're, you know, your little low budget Bryson Tiller been hitting you up, talking about Ty. And he's like, Ty is very talented and he's better than Bryson Tiller any day. And she's like, oh, look at you defending him. Like, So she's like, I got something for you. She's like, you know, she's saying that, okay, we're gonna get to the bottom of this whole situation with you and Ty. She's like, tails, you ended and you leave him alone. Heads, I need to meet this dude that you so hard up on about. You know, I need to find out some more about him. She flips it over and is like, heads, I need to meet him. So before they go in to meet Ty, he lets her know, do not come up in here and start your shit, because you know how you like to be shady and you like to be extra. Bitch, I'm letting you know. Don't go in here and show your ass. So they knock on the door, and Ty pretty much is like, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, you know, I really came here to get to the bottom of things. He introduces Naya, and Ty lets them in. And immediately, you know, we can see, you know, because we know that Ty can be very short with people, and he can be very blunt. Like, if she's asking, like, because, you know, he's staying at this studio, but it's Clayton's studio. And we know that Clayton is an artist, so he has artwork hidden up. She's like, oh, you do this art? Did you do this artwork? And he's like, does it matter? She's like, you know what? And he's like, Naya, calm down. And like pretty much Logan's is like talking to Ty, and he's like, you know, well, I'm here to, and Logan's like, you here to apologize to me? He's like, well, not really. And he's like, then why are you here? And like Naya's like, oh, he got a smart ass mouth. And he's like, Naya, calm the hell down. And she's like, look, at the end of the day, don't try to play like you all innocent in this, because here it is, you ain't tell me everything, and I need to get to the bottom of it as to what actually happened between you and Gary. And he was like, look, I already said that that's something that he needs to bring up to you and y'all need to talk about, but your boy kind of off. And then like Naya's like, oh, you ain't lying about that. So he's like, oh, so you don't like him either? She's like, please. And then like, and that after that, that's when like, you know, Logan pretty much was telling Naya, like, you know what's not gonna happen is this shit right here. That ain't gonna go down. And then all of a sudden, you know, Ty apologizes to Logan. He says, look, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry that this all happened, but, you know, at the end of the day, you needed to figure this out for yourself. But I really am sorry that you're hurt by this. And then all of a sudden, Naya's like, oh, you're so sweet. And he's like, Naya, take your ass outside. You are doing entirely too much. Take your ass outside. So he made her wait outside in the cold. And he pretty much says that, look, and then like, you know, Logan and Ty are by themselves, which is so obvious that something's there. And he's pretty much telling Ty that, look, you know, I know that at the end of the day, Gary's who I want to be with. I don't want you, and whatever you think is gonna happen ain't gonna happen. And then all of a sudden Ty comes up like, so you never wanted me? And then we see damn Logan fighting it. I'm like, bitch, you ain't slick. We knew your ass wanted fucking Ty, because we've known it since the first episode, and pretty much seeing the interactions after that. Like, yeah, like you obviously are attracted to Ty, but you've been in denial of how deep that attraction is. So after that, we see that he ends up leaving, but we can definitely tell Ty really does have feelings for Logan. So later on, we see that before, Logan and Naya meet up with Gary, Naya literally clocks Logan on his shit. She's like, why the hell did you have me outside waiting like I'm some bum bitch or something? He was like, because you were doing entirely too much, and I told your ass not to get in there and show your ass, and yet you did. She's like, all I did was try to lighten up the mood, because if I didn't, it would have been as if I was invisible and shit. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? She's like, really, fool? Let's be real. You and Ty got chemistry, and you need to see what's up with it. And he's like, girl, whatever. She's like, whatever my ass. You need to get to the bottom of it and find out what it is. Either you need to turn it off, or you need to turn it on and see what's good with it. But either way, you need to make a decision. Yeah, because she even asked him early on that if he were to get back with Gary, would he cut off Ty altogether? And he was like, well, I don't know. Why do you even have to question it if you have no feelings for him? Next, we see that they finally meet up with Gary. And Naya had me. I have to say, Naya, Kenny B is a great actress. I love her. She really was playing the hell out of her role, because all of a sudden, Gary walks up. She's like, hey, what's up, sis? I was rolling. I was like, oh my God. And we could just see Gary is just unbothered. And he pretty much, tells Logan that, I've missed you, and, I'm glad you're here, and can I get a hug, and, and he actually apologizes to Naya about the way he acted the other day, and how he also acted when she was there to get Logan's things, because Jabrilla let her into the apartment. And she was like, look, I'll forgive you on the sake of Logan, because there need to be some positivity in this situation, so I'll be in the car. So she goes and leaves, and they go back and forth and they talk. And within the conversation, he asks Gary to tell him everything that happened between him and Ty, and to not leave nothing out. And if he doesn't, he will literally leave, and he will not come back. And he finally opens up about, the fact that he met Ty at the bar, he invited Ty back to the place, and he started drinking, and he kind of got out of hand and became disrespectful. So he actually confessed that, yeah, he was the one who kind of put the moves on Ty. And because we even see that when he was talking to Ty, he asked, like, so you mean to tell me you went up in there and you had no ill intentions? He's like, nah, I really had no intentions of having sex with him. And when he threw that at me, it surprised me, and then he got real crazy after that. So yeah, they finally got to the bottom of that. And, he's pretty much, we see that Gary is pleading for Logan to come back, and how much he misses him, and that he wants to make it right. So we actually see that Logan actually says that, okay, I'm going to go back to Philly, but I'm going to come back with my things. So he agrees to forgive Gary, and that they're going to try to work on building their relationship. So Gary is actually happy, because even Logan said that, I'll sleep on the couch, and he says, I don't care, just as long as you're back. But then Logan was like, nigga, your ass sleeping on the couch. And he's like, okay, fine. So it was cool seeing them come together, but we can definitely tell Logan is unsure. And I don't know if you guys felt it, but I definitely felt that, yeah, he does love Gary, but he's very unsure as to whether he wants to continue this relationship with him. And he's kind of on the fence. And we noticed that, he kind of was given that same vibe with Ty. And it's crazy. It's like, it's obvious he got feelings for Ty, but he's not trying to take it there. And he's trying to, put this whole thing back together with Gary, but he already realizes that this supposedly perfect relationship that him and Gary had was all a bunch of jazz, and not any real music has been playing. So he's starting to really open his eyes to shit. Then we see that, Logan and Maya come to Gary's place. They notice that the place has changed. We know why the place has changed because let's just say Gary had to clean up a very big mess as to what happened with him and Sebastian. And, pretty much, even Naya's like, oh yeah, we can smell the bleach and the Lysol all the way from the front door. Like, this whole place is different. And she's like, yeah, this place is real clean. And he's like, well, my place is always clean. And Logan's like, yeah, it is, but you know how messy your ass get. And it's like, if anything, Gary is like really happy that Logan's there. And I must say, Gary, you was looking good in those blue undies, baby. I was peeping you. Melanin, sexy on fleek. Okay, so they have a conversation, and Logan, Gary was actually on his way to work, but him and Logan obviously, are kind of turned on in the moment. They start making out and everything, and he pretty much tells Naya that she can go off. He's gonna stay here with Gary, and Naya lets him know that, look, you just say the word, and I can make the call, and I can get the crew together, and we can come down here and beat his ass. This is not a fucking game. And I was like, see, Naya is that ride or die friend. She's like, I got the peeps on speed dial. All you have to do is say the word. We coming down here, and we gonna fuck them up. And he's like, nah, there ain't gonna be none of that. But she says, you call me if you need me. I got you. So they hug it out, and she ends up leaving. But the thing is, here it is, I'm thinking she's on her way back to Philly. On her way back there, she makes a visit to Ty. And she kind of blows, she literally just pushes her way right into the door. Ty is pretty much playing his guitar, and he's wearing his undies, and let's just say that motherfucker was nice. Okay, so she comes in there, and she's like, look, you and Logan need to get to the bottom of it, that you and Logan need to get to the bottom as to what you have, because it's obvious you two got chemistry. And then all of a sudden she looks down at him, she's like, and now I can see what all the fuss is about. And then he covers himself up, and I was like, that was too cute. I was like, oh, look at Ty being all bashful. Because Ty, my nickname for Ty is Magic Stick. Because if he can hit once, he can hit twice. That's just Ty, because Ty just got that wood that just changes everything. And we noticed that from that threesome, things ain't been the same since then, for neither one of them. So she pretty much lets him know that, look, you need to make a move. You need to let him know. He said that, look, what can I do? He's already chosen Gary, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. And she lets him know, no, he didn't choose Gary. He's confused. He's used to this whole situation with Gary, but then what you guys had is something new and different. And you should reach out to him and see what it's all about. You guys need to get to the bottom of this. And he says, okay, I'll give him a call. And she kind of checks him out when he's leaving, and he's checking her out too. And I'm like, all right, Ty. All right now. I mean, yeah, we know Naya is fine as hell, but no, boo-boo. Wheel it back, because you're trying to get with Logan. Don't go there, but we know Ty is free when it comes down to throwing the dick, so it is what it is. But yeah, I was glad that Naya did that, because she's kind of letting it, it's obvious to her that y'all two feel something for each other. Y'all need to figure it out, what you guys are going to do about it. But y'all both straddling the fence. It's just stupid. Y'all need to figure it out. So then we see that Gary and back at the apartment, Gary and Logan are getting really silly with each other, and he was like, how about I give you a little something before you go to work, baby. So they about to get it in and everything, and Logan goes in the room and takes off his shirt, and then he notices something under the bed, and it just so happens to be a pair of pink undies. Now, if y'all remember, those are the same pink undies that Sebastian was wearing the night that he got choked out by Xanax. Now, immediately, this automatically shuts Logan down, because here it is, he done forgiven Gary, he done moved back in with Gary, and now he see that Gary is still on some fuck shit, and that Gary is not being fully honest. So all of a sudden, Gary comes in there thinking he's about to get some ass. Logan's like, who the fuck are these? Whose jaws are these? You know, immediately I started thinking about that song, Moving On by Maya. Whose jaws are these? You know I wear a size 4. Like, I immediately thought about that, like, bitch, you got checked. And she's like, Logan's like, whose underwear are these? And Gary lies and says, they're mine. He's like, wrong. You don't like pink. Whose drawers are these? And he's like, I got them for you. And he's like, wrong again. They're used. Whose drawers are these? And eventually, you know, Gary confessed that, look, I slept with somebody, all right? And she's like, oh my God, you actually cheated on me? And here it is, I done moved back in with your ass, and now I see that you're still lying and you're still playing games. And then Gary starts to take it out on Logan, saying, it's your fault. You left me. This is all you. Like, I got lonely, but what was I supposed to do? In some aspect, I can understand where Gary's coming from with that. I mean, because, Logan, you did leave, and you cut off all contact, and it wasn't like you were gone for, like, maybe, like, a day or two. You were gone for damn near a month, I think. So, all this time, he's feeling all these kind of emotions, and a lot of times when you put your man on a break, you're kind of open that door for someone else to come in and to mend that broken heart. Now, I'm not agreeing with what he did with him and Sebastian. I'm not agreeing with that at all, because sadly, Sebastian ended up dead because of it. But at the end of the day, just in reality speaking, that happens. But Logan is just like, you know what, we're done. I'm over this shit, you know. And then all of a sudden, Gary again comes with the fuck shit and was like, oh, so what is it? You just really want to get back with Ty, don't you? You can't get his dick out your head and all of this shit. And I'm like, yeah, I think that may be the case. I mean, but you were the one who initiated the threesome, baby. And, like, if anything, this just really pissed, Logan off even more. Because he's like, this ain't even about Ty. This is about you and your actions. And here it is, you're trying to put it off on Ty. I'm not even thinking about Ty right now. And at that moment, he wasn't. But he was just like, you know what, I'm through. I can't deal with this anymore. We're over. We're done. We're finito. And then all of a sudden, Gary's like, okay, fine. Get your shit and get the fuck out then. And then all she's like, hurry the fuck up. I was like, okay, Xanax, calm the fuck down, bitch. And then on his way out, he threw the underwear at his ass and was like, no, they yours, remember? Wear them, bitch. So pretty much Logan has now left. We see that Logan is at the bar, pretty much drinking, and he looks like he has some egg rolls and shit. So he's obviously is just really in his emotions. And Jabril actually comes in there and actually notices him being there. So him and Jabril, spark out a conversation or whatever, and he can definitely tell something's bothering Logan, but Logan is not trying to be all out there with his problems, but he can definitely tell he's going through it. And, he pretty much even said that, I just wanted to let you know that, I'm not going to charge you for making an extra key, because I know sometimes things happen. But then, but he said that, he met his best friend and she's a character. I'm like, yes, Naya is off the hook. So, so we pretty much see that, he definitely knows about Logan just got back in town, and he said it was good to see you, and he was just saying that, I just needed to get away and clear my head to see what I wanted, but then what is it about Easton that everything in my life has gotten fucked up? Because it's like, it's just something about Easton that once you get there, everything just turns upside down. And pretty much Jabril gave him some good tea. He was like, look, Easton always looked like it's a great place to be, but you realize there are a lot of situations and people, and if you stick with the right people and stick with the right situations, you'll survive Easton. So I'm like, interesting that he brought that up, because next thing you know, while they're talking, Jabril gets a call, about a situation, and he goes to see about it. So he pretty much, bids Logan farewell and everything, and he goes to check on the situation. The situation leads him right to Gary's door. And yeah, because I'm actually going to talk about the good shit at towards the end. But before, but pretty much these things kind of happen simultaneously at the same time. But after Jabril leaves Logan at the bar, he goes to knock on the door to Gary. He knocks on Gary's door. Forgive me, y'all. And they start talking, and he lets him know that look, he's pretty much saying that they actually discovered a body in the basement. I don't know if you know about this, but pretty much they're going to be questioning everybody as to the whereabouts of who this person is or whatever. And we see that after a while, Gary starts getting very defensive and was like, well, the thing is, I don't know anything about the guy in the basement. And then Jabril was like, I never said it was a guy. I said there was a body in the basement. The authorities had to come and actually identify the body and the sex and all of that. So I don't know what it is. I just know there was a body discovered in the basement, and that they're going to question everybody in the building. And he was saying that, yeah, they should also talk to Logan. And then all of a sudden, Gary's like, well, they don't need to talk to Logan because Logan was here with me the whole night. And then Jabril was like, yeah, but I actually thought he just got back from Philly today. He's like, no, that's not what it is. He was with me. And Jabril is already wheels turning because Jabril Anderson Davenport don't play, and he can always smell some bullshit. So he's already kind of sensing, Gary, you ain't wrapped too tight, and you're getting very defensive for someone who hasn't done anything. So he pretty much bids Jabril goodbye. He literally tries to push Jabril out the door. And he was like, okay, I'm just letting you know that authorities will be coming by. So, all right. But we already just tell that Jabril ain't buying what Gary's trying to sell. And we can definitely tell Gary is upset because Logan has left him again. And it just so happens that after Logan is at the bar and he's been drinking, he's drunk as shit, and guess what? He ends up right back at Ty's doorstep, and Ty's like, oh, what the hell now? And he's like, he just pushes him in, and he's like, man, I just want to let you know that I don't want you, I never wanted you, and all of this. And then Ty's laughing like, boy, you drunk, sit down. So they actually sit down and start talking. And he actually tells Ty that, he just found out that Gary was cheating on him. And that, after all of this, he pretty much, had me going, making us believe that everything was good. But then this fool cheated on me. And then Ty was like, look, I'm sorry that you had to find it out like that, but if anything, I know your damn boy Gary is a repressed freak. And I know guys like him, and pretty much he's saying that, this damn threesome just changed everything. And then Ty's like, would you please stop talking about the damn threesome? But he says that, look, I'm being real. Every single one of us were changed after that moment, which is true. And Ty was like, yeah, the real Gary came out. He was so used to you being his perfect little boyfriend, and he had this perfect image of himself, but now you're starting to see how he really is, and now that's what's turning you off. And next thing you know, he's like, well, it don't even matter because I'm packing my things and I'm going back to Philly. And then we see Ty pull him back. Oh no, you need to stop running away every time you have a problem. And I'm like, you don't want him to leave, Ty. So yeah. And we see it's on equal ends. Like, you want Logan just as much as Logan wants you. So we actually see that even though he's been having all these hot, steamy sessions with Peter Piper, his heart is really with Logan. And I'm starting to see that shit. So he's saying that, so pretty much, you know, Ty asks him, you know, so what do you, so he's like, so what are you thinking? And he's like, man, I ain't thinking about Gary's ass right now. He's like, I ain't talking about Gary. I'm talking about me. And then he moves in and kisses Logan and shit. Logan pushes him off. He's like, man, I wish I never met you. And he's like, you don't mean that. He's like, well, I don't know what I mean right now because I'm obviously fucked up. And then all of a sudden, you know, Ty was like, but you know what I'm thinking? And he's like, what? He's like, I'm thinking about putting my tongue in your ass to make you come. And I'm like, ooh, oh! I was like, ooh, Ty, you nasty motherfucker. Woo! And next thing you know, they got it in, and let me say they were doing some, not only were they having some raunchy sex, but they were passionate with it. I mean, Ty was throwing the magic stick onto Logan, and Logan was giving life the same time, the same way he did during that threesome, which pissed Gary off because he know damn well at the end of the day, Logan was liking that meat, and that Ty was throwing that meat better than Gary. And we see that Ty did not hold back. He was enjoying tearing Logan's ass up. We even see Logan riding on it. And I was just like, ooh, yes! The one thing that we all wanted has finally happened. Ty and Logan got it in, and it was hot. And we definitely see that, yeah, there is some real, you know, feelings there between the two of them. But we can tell that this is going to definitely spiral out of control down the line because, for one, he done started something up with Peter. Peter got feelings for him, and we're going to see what's going to happen when he finds out about Logan. And also, we're going to find out what's going to go down once Sharon finds out that Ty is the man that Peter's been messing with. So, we already see there's a lot of drama ahead, and now that the body of Sebastian has been discovered, what's going to happen with that? So we got a whole bunch of things that are pretty much in the works, and we definitely know that each and every person is going to be affected because they're all interconnected with the bullshit. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But yes, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on my other social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and I've also started a GoFundMe. Check out that link as well. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Triangle: The Secret Storm. So until then, everybody, take care.